All right, YouTube. So this is kind of a weird one coming from CNN, Brian Stelter. Anything that he usually puts out is very creepy, very deep state ridden propaganda. But this is very weird. So Trump tweeted out earlier that he met up with this guy named A.G. Salisbury, who I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but Salisbury, I think, and he's a New York Times publisher. And Trump was kind of bragging about the meeting, saying like, "Oh, we had a great discussion discussing how, the media, the fake news media, is basically, fooling a lot of people. Like they're basically lying, and they're getting away with it in a ways, in some ways. Not so much as they used to, but I think basically Trump was just making a point to him. He didn't really want to hold back. He just said like, yeah, look, your agency has posted a lot of bad stories about me." And I think he tweeted that to basically make it look like, yeah, I'm still being friendly with these people. Like, we have our differences in political views, but we can still be friendly with each other. And then this guy, Salisbury, comes out and says to Brian Stelter, like, oh, look, this was supposed to be an off-the-record meeting. And then Trump decided to make it public. And then he goes on to say, well, I was actually warning him that it's very dangerous to label the press the enemy of the people. And this is just weird because, obviously the New York Times is a very corporate news outlet. They're basically instructed to pump out propaganda. Like a lot of the people that I don't understand, like they were against the Iraq War back in the day, or they say in retrospect, but the weird thing is the people that I know that read it, they don't really care about the idea of going to war with Syria or anything. And it's kind of obvious why, because the New York Times is very pro-war. Like they were very pro-Iraq and everything. I think they fired someone like a famous beat writer, a famous columnist, because he was against the war. And MSNBC did the same thing with Phil Donahue. So there's no one on the left or the right that's obvious. They all lie about going to war. Casus belli. They want to come up with these reasons that turn out to be false and justifications that are really justified to go to war. So this guy Salisbury is basically saying, like, you can't call us fake news. It's bad for democracy. You're essentially undermining the First Amendment and the free press. Well, the truth is that the free press is basically people like myself, people like everybody else on YouTube. I check out my other video, YouTube Real News. I mentioned a couple names there, but there's a lot more people that basically like InfoWars for the most part pumps out pretty good content. They might lie about some other things that are a little more down the rabbit hole, but for the most part, they're at least, not as shitty as, most of the other mainstream media outlets. PJW is really good. Styx is very good. Razor Fist is very good. I like Razor Fist. He's pretty funny. There's a lot of great guys on there. Martin Brodell, of course. I always mention him. We're the free press. We're the people that are actually a face of the news. And we're not bought and paid for by some corporation or anything, We're completely, not InfoWars, that's a corporation, but the independent content creators. We're essentially the voice of the free press. And no matter how much you guys lie about us, our significance in the media, we're still going to get the word out. And this is why all this bullshit's coming out about YouTube investing $25 million to, basically suppress people like myself and all the other names, people much bigger than me that have much larger audiences, and basically it prevents them from getting an even bigger audience when they're telling the truth. So it's censorship in its rawest. I mean, in its most naked form, I guess. They don't even try to hide it anymore, honestly. So YouTube basically invests $25 million. Okay, that's embarrassing, because it's ultimately going to go to waste. I'm just a little insulted that they're still trying to do this, I guess. It's like, we're the ones who are telling the truth, and it's kind of pathetic that you're honestly spending all this money on it, I guess keep up the good work, it's not our money, so whatever. And then also you got Facebook, talking about they want to crack down on fake news and everything. And you're seeing it all around the world. In the UK, they're talking about banning political advertising on social media and everything. I mean, it's bad enough over there. Essentially, you can get visited by the police for having wrong think about, Muslims, essentially. And everything, anything that's politically incorrect to them. You can get a visit from the police if you tweet out something negative about Islam. It's insane. But they also talk about how they're going to ban this, political advertising, which is essentially memes and everything. And also, political advertising can also mean stuff like myself and much larger content creators. They can, They can basically try and stifle our voice, but we're still gonna rise up on top. Cream always rises to the top, I guess. Yeah, that was a pretty good take. I'm going to end on that, you know. But you know what, guys? Like, just continue to keep up the good work. Facebook and YouTube, they cannot shut us up. We're going to continue to keep talking until they, I don't know. They're not going to shut us up. We're just going to keep talking. All right, see you guys later.